Hey kids, this is Mr. Weber, and I am here to work with you today on our next recorder lesson, which is the song Farm Out. So here we go. We got Farm Out, the recorder lesson with me, Mr. Weber. So here is our new song, Farm Out. This song is a bit longer. The music is a little bit smaller, but this is how it would look if we were to see the music in class, okay? So for this song, we have some notes, some that are familiar, some that are going to be new. So our first note we have, of course, is G. And G is thumb, 1, 2, 3. Remember, our left hand's on top, right hand's on bottom. But instead of holding the bottom of the instrument like this, we have to start getting used to having our thumb on the back of the instrument. There's nothing to cover up here, so it's just on back, and it's kind of behind the bottom first hole, okay? So that's important. So your thumb's back here, and that's what's going to kind of hold. So G, thumb, 1, 2, 3. Slow air, sounds like this. Okay, lips sealing up, air going through. Slow, warm air. Our next note we know is A, thumb, 1, 2. And our thumb is still back here, right behind that first hole of the bottom hand, okay? So you have G and A. Our next note, of course, is B. So thumb, 1. Still slow, warm air. So we're practicing G, A, and B. After this, we know is C, and that's where our first finger and middle finger swap, but our thumb's still on the back, okay? And our lower thumb is still holding the instrument, okay? That's C. So our 4 notes so far, G, A, B, C. And if you've been practicing this whole year with Mr. Weber, you can probably play it just as good as I can, or possibly even better. Possibly, okay? So once again, here's our first 4 notes. After that, the last note that we've done so far is D, right? And D, you take your thumb off the back, okay? So if I don't have it in my mouth, it falls down on me, okay? But since I am holding it with my mouth, I've got it there, and I've got my thumb on my lower hand, okay? So D is this. This is why it's kind of important, too, that we're not holding it straight down like this. We have it at an angle, so you can see here. Okay, not down here, but up here a bit, okay? Makes it easy so I don't drop it. Now we have a new note, and this note, you may notice, has, see if I can use my pen here. Do you see this right here? The thumb hole is no longer shown as covered up all the way, but it's covered up half of the way. So I'm just covering up the bottom half. So what I'm really doing is I'm just kind of pulling my thumb down. Let's see if we can get this on the camera right. So my thumb normally is here. I'm going to pull it down just a little bit so I can see the holes start to come uncovered. You don't really pull it down halfway. At least I don't feel you do. I just pull it down just a little bit so it's not totally covered up. Okay? And this note is known as, oops, gotta get out of this. This is a note E. Okay? So for E, I am going to pull my thumb down just a little bit and cover up the first, second, third hole. But now on the bottom, this is why I was telling you you can't grab the bottom anymore. You have to cover up the first and second holes here. So now you got thumb, half thumb hole, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And this note, the air you push a little faster, and it sounds higher than D. That is the note E. Okay? So let's see if I can get rid of this. There we go. And go back to the mouse. Okay. There we go. So now we have, instead of 5 notes I'm always talking about, now we're up to 6. So now we need 2 hands here. So G, A, B, C, D, and E. So here's G. B, C, D, and now E. And E you may have to practice because if you don't push the air just right, you get this sound. So you gotta make sure you put these fingers down in front, cover them up really good, and the back hole, you pull your thumb down just slightly. Come on, get there. So that you can see that opening in the hole. And you push your air a bit faster, okay? So those are our notes, our 6 notes. You may need to pause this and practice playing these 6 notes a bunch just so that you can get it come out. So let's take a look at, let's see. I want to write on, nope, that's not working. And that's not what I want. So there we go. Let's get our notes written in, okay? So this song starts off on a C. So it goes C, 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 G, A, G. Okay, let's just practice that. This nothing too hard here. Right? Very easy. Okay. Now, the second line, here's where those E's come in. E, E, oops. Oh, let me erase that because that looks really terrible. There we go. Back to the pen. E, E, there you go. D, D, C. And this C is long, okay? And then there's a breath mark here, and then another G, okay? That G really leads to the next line. So in the second line, we have, and that C is held out for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. We take a breath, and then the G really leads into the next line. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. So let's take a look at the first line and the second line and hear how it sounds. Okay, and then that G will play into the second line, but let's move on for the time. You may notice that the third line is the same exact thing as the first line, right? Okay, so this is going to make this song a whole lot easier. C, 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 G, A, G. Okay, so here's that third line. So if you can play the first line, you can also play the third line, all right? Let's take a look at the third line one more time. Okay, let's try the first, second, and third line now. So we're starting from the very beginning. Good. So this time, did you hear this G lead into the third line? That's what I was trying to do. Okay. Now we're on to the fourth line. The fourth line, you may notice, looks a whole lot like the second line. And it is, except for one note. So the fourth line, we have E, 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 I'm sorry, E, E, D, D, C. Minutes long. But instead of having a G at the end, you now have this rest. Okay? Let me see if I can do that first E a little better, because that just looks terrible. There we go. All right, so here is the fourth line, which is pretty much the second line, except you don't have a note at the end. Oops. That C again is held out for 3 beats. All right. So the whole song from the beginning. Here's our first try, starting with your C. That is the whole song. All right. Let's try it one more time, and that will end this lesson. Okay. So one more time. Okay. So that is Farm Out with the notes in, all the fingerings, Mr. Weber playing along a couple times, and that's you practicing it, okay? So what you need to do now is just go through this video, play along with me, work on your own. The music will be in our Google Classroom. The music with the notes written in will also be in there in our Google Classroom. And yeah, and then you can work on it, okay? So hopefully this song won't be too hard for you. You'll also learn a brand new note. And good luck with this song. We'll work on it during class time this week as well.